with my little package here from Ulta. We got some lashes coming. So I have a 3-pack of these as well, and I didn't realize that they were the same with lashes. So, yeah, but they cute, you know. And then these are just some Whiskies. If you have hooded eyes, Whiskies are your friend. Like, they're the best lashes ever. And then I'm finally gonna try the Urban Decay setting spray. I've heard nothing but good things about it. And then I got this Smashbox Oil and Shine Control Primer because I have really oily skin and I'm not trying to walk around looking like a big grease ball, especially since summer's coming up. And then I got this Smashbox Foundation. Ooh, come on, there you go. And this is the Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. And some Real Technique sponges. I have the orange ones already and they're pretty good, so I figured I'd try these. Then I got the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, but I got the glow one. It was an accident, but it's kind of has a tint to it, so we'll see how it works. And here's the dip brow that I mentioned earlier. So before, oh, come on, there we go. Before I was getting it in the shade Chocolate, and this time I got it in Ebony, so we'll see. And then the last thing I got is this Morphe lip gloss in the shade Groovy. It's like a really pretty peachy nude. But you know, she cute. I thought I ordered a different shade, but nope, that's the shade I ordered. It looks different online, but it's still cute, whatever. So the next portion of the video is going to be a voiceover just because I'm not really sure where I want to go with my makeup yet. And I don't want to be like, So for primer, I'm going to be going in with a Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. I've used the Smashbox Radiance Primer. And I like the consistency of this one a lot more because the Radiance one's a little bit thicker and it can make it harder to spread, and since it's radiant, it gets weird. And for brows, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Ebony. Something I forgot with this product is a little goes a long way, so you really don't need to put much on your brush because from what I put on for the first brow, I ended up using it for both brows. Concealer. My concealer does not have a shade number on it, so I'm not sure what color it is. But I'm going to use this to clean up the top of my brows to make my arch a little bit neater. For eyeshadow, I'm using this Profusion Cosmetics Spectrum palette. First shade I'm going to use is this yellow color called Marigold. I'm only going to put this on one eye, and I'm going to put it almost on the inner corner of my eye because I'm going to be doing like a rainbow look. So I want it to be a gradient of yellow, orange, and then red. So before I go any further, I just want to remind you guys to like, comment, share, and subscribe because I'm coming back, you're coming back, we're both coming back. We might as well meet each other here. The shade I'm using is this red color called Warmth from the Color Story Bright Blooms Pressed Pigment palette. I just want to say I did go in with the orange from the Spectrum palette and the orange from this palette as well, but I couldn't really get them to pop like I wanted. But this red, it's so pigmented, like, love it. Now I'm just going through and adding more color just to make sure that the colors are opaque and they're blended together well. After I get the colors I want, I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Wear Concealer in the shade, I think Olive, and I'm just going to use it to cut my crease. So for my other eye, I'm going to go in with this light green shade called Lucky. And I'm going to do the exact same thing I did to my other eye, except I'm going to use cool tone colors now. So I'm going to put the green right where I put the yellow. Next, I'm going to go in with this dark blue, almost purple color called Nautical. And the last color I'm using is this purple shade called Rain. that's done, I'm gonna go in and cut my crease the same way I did the other eye. This shade from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette called Obsessed. So in the middle of using Obsessed, I noticed it was a little more pink than I wanted it to be. So I'm going to go back into my Jaclyn Hill palette and use the shade Beam. It's like a really pretty, like a white gold almost. Now I'm just taking the same e.l.f. concealer I used to cut my crease and an angled brush, and I'm going to do kind of a wing liner situation, but concealer, so you know, winged concealer. You guessed I was gonna use those same shades as my liner. You guessed right. So for the end, I'm just gonna take that same orange red shade. In the middle, I'm gonna take the same oranges, and the inner tear duct, I'm gonna use yellow, and just kind of have it like the cut crease is like a cutout, you know, cut crease, cut out. The same exact thing to the opposite side. I'm just switching the colors up. I'm gonna use this Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation in the shade 4.25. spilly because I spill things. Doesn't matter what it is, I spill it. For my highlight, I'm going to use this Infallible Full Wear from L'Oreal in the shade Honey 415. When I highlight. So I do under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, my forehead, my chin, under my nose, and then if I'm feeling fancy, I'll reverse contour. I'm just using a Real Technique sponge to blend it out. Are the actual beauty blenders worth it? Because I've tried Real Techniques, e.l.f., and a couple other brands, but never the actual, like, beauty blender. So here's where I mess up, like, bad. I have this Laura Mercier setting powder. Well, it says it's setting powder in the shade Translucent, but it's the glow, and your girl gonna be glowing, because I did not expect it to be like glowing. Like, I thought it was a little bit of glitter, and like I could deal with that because the Black Radiance, I think Black Radiance, one of their powders has glitter. But baby, ooh, y'all about to see, because I'm about to look a hot mess. And at that moment, I knew I messed up, because I look a hot mess. Here's me still having a little bit of hope. You know, I'm brushing it off. I'm trying to get as much off as possible, trying to see if I can make it work. And oh my gosh, I look like, oh, let my soul glow. So now I'm gonna try and fix it with the Fit Me finishing powder in the shade 30 Medium Deep. And like, in the container, it looks like it's the right shade. I have other shades like this and they work. But this shade, I don't know if it's the formula or what, but like, you can always see where I put the beauty blender at. And then like, it's always way too light and I don't understand. Mess your makeup up and the voice inside your head is just like, girl, what are you doing? Yeah, she was going off this whole time, and like, I'm still trying to fix it. I used a couple of different powders to try and fix it. I used a Black Radiance setting powder, another Fit Me loose finishing powder in the shade, I think 45, and a e.l.f. powder, and oh my gosh. Alright, now that that's over, I'm going to use the Fenty bronzer in the shade Mocha Mami to contour. you know what's wild? After all that glowing I got from the Laura Mercier, I still had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to put on some highlighter. Who am I? Whose man's is this? For my lips, I'm using the Morphe lip gloss in the shade Groupie. It's a really nice peachy tone. It's almost like a perfect nude if you're around my skin color. And I'm still trying to rectify the Laura Mercier situation. If you get the glow, just know it's a highlighter. It is not a setting powder. Do not make the mistake I did. Alright, so I had to throw the whole look away, but I did recreate this look, so I have pictures from when I did it the other day. The only difference is, instead of pink in the warm eye, I used red. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the night, evening, day, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Bye!